I was brought up in church when I was younger. My mum was a Christian for a while, and she used to take myself and my brother to church. I found church boring, and I found it wasn't really what I wanted to do with my life. When I got to the age that I could make my own choice of whether or not I wanted to go to church, I actually chose not to. I used to get into a lot of parties and a lot of raves back in the UK. I did eventually get into the scene for drugs. Even though I was doing drugs and stuff, I wasn't actually looking for God, and even coming from a Christian background, I mean, I believed in God, but I wasn't empty inside. I wasn't searching for like a saviour or anything. Talking with one of my friends, and it turned out that he went to church, and I had this sort of, you know, when you get like an instinct inside of you just click, and I said, mate, I just got to come to church with you and just check it out. I just really feel something inside me saying I've got to come. So I went to church the next day, and I just can't explain what I felt. It was better than the buzz of any drug that I've had. It was better than anything I can even begin to explain. I felt happy, I felt accepted, and I felt welcome in this place of strangers that I'd never met before. I gave my life to God that day, and a few months later I was moving here to Australia, and that's when my mum Googled Westside Church on the first Sunday morning with my brother. I was just amazed at how genuine everybody was here. Again, I just felt that same thing that I felt back in my church in the UK, that I was welcome even though I was amongst a bunch of strangers, that it was like these people I'd met for the first time I'd known for most of my life. Coming up to 5 years almost now, and I have some of my best friends are in this church, and some people that I would call my family are in this church. This for me means a lot to me. I've noticed that ever since I've become a Christian, and ever since I've started to live for God, that how much happier I am and how much more confident I am. I used to be actually quite shy, and a lot of people who know me well would probably find that really hard to believe. I know that God living in me has just changed me for the better and made me a stronger and better person. You know, I get asked a lot at work, what's different about my life? Why do I go to church and not continue on with what everybody else does every Saturday, Friday night? And the main reason that I am still in church today is because I found God. And that sounds like such a cliche statement, and it's very hard to explain, but I use an analogy at work, being an electrician, that you know, electricity is invisible and we can't see it. And if there was like a cable hanging down from the ceiling, how would you know if it had power going through it? Well, the only way you would know is if you touched it, and you'd probably get a very big boot off it. Sure, like, it's very hard to see whether there's any power in church, if there's any power in God, but if you just, you know, put yourself in a position where you can allow God to touch you, then I guarantee that He will, as long as you do it with an earnest heart. And thank you, Google.